Hey, we here, man. Artificial intelligence, strategic thinking media platform, urban AI. I want to talk about this interview, man. You can see the interview that I'm speaking about. Ralo on Say Cheese, 1.5 million views in 3 weeks. This is the best Say Cheese interview that I've ever seen. I think it's the best interview so far, 2024. I think Charlemagne got some good interviews this year. You know what I'm saying? Some other people, some other content creators got some real good interviews this year. But this is my favorite one. This is my favorite interview of the year. And it's really countless jewels in this interview, man. It's a whole lot of deep stuff in this interview. Uh but I'm not sure if people caught it. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But I'm not going to talk about everyone. It's about 3 or 4 points that I want to talk about from this video. All right, I want y'all to go and watch this video in its entirety. I don't watch interviews a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? I don't watch interviews a whole lot. So for me to sit and watch a 1 hour and a half, 1 hour, 31 minutes, 53-second interview, it's good. It's good, man. So this is Ralo. I know if you're watching this, you probably know who Ralo is. If you don't, do a quick Google. But this is not really to talk about his past, because he do that in this interview. And like I say, before I get into it, I want y'all to go to Say Cheese and watch the video on his platform. You know what I'm saying? I'm just using this as a reference. I'm gonna break it down a little bit. I ain't gonna play it all the way through. I'm not gonna talk about every single thing that I thought was important, because again, it's too much stuff in here that's important for me to go over every single one. But I'm gonna just take the major points and the major things that he talk about, and we just gonna get deep into it a little bit, man. The first thing that I want to say before I get into this interview, I think a lot of people owe him an apology. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people were saying that he told, a lot of people were saying that he cooperated, but he didn't. And I think that it's clear now. Excuse me. I want to give y'all an example though, right? I want to give y'all an example. Do y'all see how Lil Wody with YSL? Do y'all see how he's acting? Do y'all see what he's doing? How he trying to make it seem like he lied to the police? That's what Ralo really did. That's what Ralo really did. And y'all can look up the paperwork and all the evidence of what I'm saying is true. Ralo agreed to talk to the police, or he said he had some information. And when they start interrogating him, he was lying. All right. They knew he was lying. That's why he stayed in jail. Okay. Lil Wody is not in jail. So what does that mean? That means he told the truth. All right, Ralo lied when and it's in the information. It's in some of his court papers. He did have a sit down with the police, but the information that he gave them, none of it came back. All right, somebody who was making as much money as him, somebody who knew the big time players, and we're gonna get into that. He could have told. It's not like he was lying because he was just making stuff up because he ain't had nothing to tell. He definitely had something to tell. He just tried to lie and you know what I'm saying, get his time shortened, but he didn't, y'all. The police is not stupid. And I'm not saying that he thought the police was stupid, but he was basically in a situation where he ain't had nothing to lose. He was gonna go in there, cook something up, like he said, try to make it juicy for him. Y'all know the famous quote that he used: make something sound juicy or real, interesting, or whatever the case may be, like it's some deep stuff going on. And it was a lie. That's why they took him back to his cell. They ain't release him. He did the majority of his time because he didn't snitch. He went into the interrogation room and he lied and he made stuff up. What he did, or what he tried to do, that is what Lil Wody is making y'all think he did. But Lil Wody told the truth. He really told. That's how he was getting into shootouts and stuff like that and still being on the streets, because he was telling. When Ralo was talking to the police, they checked what he was saying. It was bullshit. And like I said, somebody who's selling that much drugs, who's been in the streets for that long, he could have told on people. He tells a story that we gonna get into of him reeing up. He could have told on them people. He could have told on the people above him, but he didn't. He tried to make something up to see if the police was gonna go for it. Now they didn't go for it, but like I said, you already in jail. He in jail anyway, so he really had nothing to lose, man. And I don't think that's a charge. If you say you want to tell and you want to give some information to the police and you lie, it's really excuse me. It's really no way. It's really no way that they can prove that you lying. You could simply say, "Oh, I got the names mixed up." You know what I'm saying? So that's not a new. He wasn't gonna catch a new charge. He wasn't going. It was a situation where if they believed it, cool. If not, that's cool too. Like I said, you already in jail, so they can't arrest him again. He's already in jail. He's not gonna catch a new charge. And it was a phone call that was leaked between him and the dude who put the information out, saying that he told, where he told him straight up, I had to say something. I was trying to get out of jail. I had to say something. He was just probably tired of sitting in jail. He said, I'm finna cooperate, and he told a whole bunch of lies. Now, I didn't read none of his paperwork. I seen what was on the internet. I wasn't part of the case. Obviously, I don't personally know him. But from listening to the story, for me, it sounded weird because nobody on his case said he told. And I was thinking to myself, y'all don't find that weird that the only person who's saying he's told is somebody who's not even on the case? Why are there no co-defendants saying he told? It's just a nigga in the free world. This is homeboy. Or that was his homeboy before he got locked up who said he told. Ain't nobody on the case said he told. So where are they at? Why isn't it in their paperwork that he told? The people who he told on, why is he not in their paperwork? Why can't they say, look, this is where Ralo told on me? That kind of struck me as odd. But the paperwork did say that there was some type of meeting with him and the police. He tried to wag the police, basically. He tried to wag the police, but he stayed honorable. He stayed honorable. And that's a thing. That's a thing. You can, if you feel like, hey, I'm finna make something up, I'm finna create a plug. If my plug is named, and we're gonna get into the content in a minute, but I just want to, because this does have to do with him. If my plug's name is Jeff Rice, I could say, hey, I want to cooperate with the police. My plug is named Jonathan Mitchell. You know what I'm saying? I'm not getting Jeff Rice in trouble, who my real plug is. I'm creating a guy named Jonathan Mitchell. Now, if the police believe that, cool. If the police don't believe that, that's cool too. But like I said earlier, the police are smart. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna, you're not gonna just tell them a story and they say, okay, go ahead, bye. And man, we hope he's telling the truth. Nah, man, that's not how it works. They're gonna make sure you telling the truth. They're gonna fact check what you say. That's why when Lil Wody, YSL, is on the stand talking about how he lied to the police, it's like, bro, for you to been working with the police for years, you telling some truth. You're not just telling them all lies. Ralo was telling all lies. All lies. Nothing he told the police was true. That's not snitching. That's not snitching. If he told the truth on somebody, it would be in their paperwork. They could show you where Ralo said A, B, and C about me. Nobody came forward. The only person who said he told was somebody who wasn't on the case. Nobody in that case said he told. Everybody on the case got out before him. I've never heard of that before. I never heard of somebody cooperating. At least now, if it's a shooting or a murder, that could be different. That could be different. But I've never heard in a RICO case where the top person in the RICO told, but he stayed in jail longer than everybody else. It doesn't work that way. It don't work that way. Whoever he told on, he should have gotten out before them. That's the point of telling, right? So you can leave early. Nobody's going to tell and do the mandatory amount of time. That would defeat the purpose. Nobody's going to tell and still do their regular sentence. He did his regular sentence. So how he tell? But let's get into the interview. It's a couple of timestamps. Okay, this is the first one. This is a lesson right here about where he talks about Sean Cotton from Say Cheese asked him about losing money. And this, look, before I get into this, let me say this thing too. He talk about drugs a lot, but he really talking like a CEO for real. He talking like a CEO for real because every drug, everything that he talks about pertaining to drugs, it will work in the business world. It will work in the business world. I've done small time business ventures, independent business ventures. I read a lot of business books, and everything that he's saying is what they say in the books. Millionaires, billionaires. I read books written by millionaires and billionaires. They talk like this. They're not from where he's from, and they don't sell what he sold, but they talk. They have the same type of mindset. That's why I feel like this is a very important interview. This is a very important interview. So all the drug talk is that's not the point of this. It's not cool to sell drugs. You're risking a lot. He talks about how many bids he's been through. He's been in jail several times. Every super successful drug dealer that I've ever known has went to jail multiple times. So it's not cool to sell drugs. I'm not advocating for people to sell drugs. You can the things that he say in this interview, you can use it to become a doctor, a lawyer, a chef, a plumber, a dancer, a scientist, an astronaut, a construction worker, anything that you want to do. Anything that you want to do, anything that you want to do in life, the things that he's talking about in this video, if you apply them to whatever your goal is and your area of expertise is going to work for you. So myself included, that's why I was so captivated by it. But he about to talk about taking losses, and he's talking about monetary losses, but this is just losses in general, where you could even lose yourself trying to chase something, lose friends, lose family, lose relationships, lose money, losing materialistic things. You know what I'm saying? This is how you got to deal with it, though.
And when you say they ran off with what exactly?
With money. The money that they owe. You smell me? I was getting all these niggas different packs and shit. So I wasn't getting weed. Or whatever they was getting, they owed to me. You smell me?
Talked to these guys since, seen them since?
I mean, for a minute, I was aggravated. I was upset and things of that matter, but I forgive everybody because I'm no longer selling drugs. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So the feds took all the cars?
Yeah, they took all the cars.
Your mom, sister's cars?
They took
everything. How did that affect your, just
I mean,
family?
Coming from the bluff and shit and always taking major losses, because you got to think about it. At the time, I only had $1,000 re-up. You smell me? And sometimes I lose that. So like, and this happened repetitive for countless years. So it was never a time where I would lose everything and trip off it because I'm so used to getting it back. I'm so used to going back and hustle. They can take everything, but they can't take a nigga hustle. You smell me?
I do. That is very important right there, what he said. When you lose things, and like I say, I read a lot of business books. I read a lot of mental health books, personal growth books. All of them say stuff like this. All of them say stuff like this. You cannot become attached to people. You cannot become attached to material things. You cannot become attached to a job. You cannot become attached to a car. You cannot become attached to clothes, shoes, being a fan of sports. You can't become attached to electronics, computers, video games. You can't become a pet, an animal, a friend, anything. You cannot become attached to anything because you can, but that's a mistake. Because if you lose it, you're going to be in a world of hurt. It's going to mess with your mental. It's gonna mess with your mental state. All right. When you lose something, you cannot stress it because you have to understand the power to get it back is in you. The power to get back whatever you lost is inside of you. You have the power to get back whatever you lose. Let's hear that again.
Take everything, but they can't take a nigga hustle.
Very important, man. This is super important to understand.
Give everybody, because I'm no longer selling drugs. So,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So the feds took all the cars.
Yeah, they took all the cars.
Your mom's sister's cars.
They took
everything. How did that affect your, just
I mean,
family?
coming from the bluff and shit and always taking major losses, because you got to think about it. At the time, I only had $1,000 re-up. You smell me? And sometimes I lose that. So like, and this happened repetitive for countless years. So it was never a time where I would lose everything and trip off it because I'm so used to getting it back. I'm so used to going back and hustle. They can take everything, but they can't take a nigga hustle. You smell me?
Yeah.
Again, business people will tell you the same thing. In the stock market, it's the same way. In business, it's the same way. All these people these famous business people that we see, the person who created Windows, Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, the business that they're popular for or that we know them for is not their first business. Donald Trump, these people have lost millions of dollars, but they were able to recoup and reassess themselves and get it back because they knew the real power was in them, not in what they created. That's a very important lesson to learn, man. You can apply that to business. You can apply that to your personal life. You can apply that to even your love life. You can apply that to even your love life. If you're a good person and you're a truly good person, you shouldn't be afraid to lose nobody. I mean, I know that that's not politically correct to say, because if you love somebody, I guess you are technically supposed to be scared to lose them. But if you in your heart know that you're a good person and you're a valuable person, you should not be afraid to lose anybody. If somebody want to leave, let them leave. Let them leave. All right, now the next thing that we about to get into, another pretty interesting thing that he says is here again. This is not all of the jewels in this video, man. It's a lot. It's several. It's several. But this is one that I feel is pretty cool. Let's take a listen to this.
System on the outside that was willing to do whatever for me.
Yeah. What was one of the craziest things you witnessed, whether if it was like a stabbing or like some near-death experiences, or like even with yourself during COVID? I know a lot of people were going crazy in there, lockdown and shit.
But I seen a mob dude, I ain't gonna say his name, he had 44 murders. He had 44 murders. And like, I seen this documentary when he was coming up, right? And the nigga goddamn was just hate rats. He was hating this. He was just, you know how them certain dudes be, real respected. I seen that nigga sleep in the room with a nigga that told. That a nigga that nigga was always telling. And for a nigga to have 44 murders and now he in the room, but he couldn't do shit. He was on the cane. You smell me? So like, that when you open up your mind and you say, okay, cool out here, all these niggas popping their shit in county jail, but when you get to prison and 20 years later, 30 years later, this nigga was in there 50 years. He outlived his judge. He outlived his lawyers. It's hard for him to put in appeals because his judge dead and the other judge dead.
Damn.
So like, it's just seeing a motherfucking old fella walk around prison that been there 40, 50 years. What you gonna do? What the hell you gonna do if a nigga, if a snitch or any type of nigga come in that motherfucker? What you gonna do? So this right now shit, this shit ain't talking about a bitch ass thing. You need to look at that old man and this how you would determine what you need to do in life. Cause what he did apparently went right.
Yeah.
You smell me? But I salute him. I love you, man. He probably still alive. When I left him, he was goddamn back and forth to medical. Who the fuck want to go to medical every day when he that old in prison? He was rich. Nigga had money, probably more money than me. You smell me? But you know, that's the wildest shit. Me, a nigga getting stabbed and getting that shit don't bother me. Niggas been doing that shit. Niggas die every day, B.
Yeah.
So like that type of shit never was a wild moment. Wild moment is like, nigga, you sat in them motherfucker 50 years and you forced to deal with this shit. I know niggas with 7 murders, some of my DC homies, shout out to DC, good niggas, man. That's willing to do everything to get out. Niggas is trying to get out of there, man. Like, you got some, I don't mean, if you got niggas getting on that deuce, the K2.
All right, now he kind of go into another thing at that point, but the point that was important to me, the mob guy with the 44 murders, all right? Listen, for the young people out there, the codes and the morals, and this is the point of what he was saying. When you in the streets or, you know, you're doing anything illegal, and it's not even about, it can be about being in the streets, but when you're just doing anything of low moral, all right, the codes don't matter. They have an expiration date. That man, that old dude that he was talking about with the 44 murders that's in jail, and he just hated rats so much, now he's forced to live in a cell with a dude who told. Is it about hating rats and being tough? No, it's about when your freedom is taken away from you and you're subjected to live how the state and how the country, the federal government wants you to live. Okay, this is somebody who done killed 44 people. Think about that. He killed 44 people. So this is somebody who is probably not scared of anybody. It's not a whole lot of situations that he's been in where he didn't have the most control, except where he is now. He done been in jail over 40 years. When you're that age, nobody cares how many people you killed. Nobody cares how tough you are. Nobody cares about the past. Life moves forward no matter how cool you are, no matter how tough you are, no matter how rich you are. Nobody beats Father Time. The richest man in the world is going to die one day. The richest person in the world is going to get old one day. Okay, the most successful person in the world is going to get old one day. The most successful person in the world is going to die one day. The prettiest female in the world is going to get old one day. The prettiest female in the world is going to die one day. The nigga who done fucked the most bitches in the world is going to get old one day. He's going to die one day. So it's important, and I'm not trying to, be very bad news, but the point I'm making is things that don't serve you and things that don't give your life high quality while you're here, don't indulge in them. Don't indulge in them. If you're doing something and you can't see a future doing it, do something else. Do something else. You heard him say clearly what the man was doing was wrong, right? Do you think anybody would tell somebody with 44 murders that? Of course not. Of course nobody's going to say that to him. But look where he is now, in his 70s in a federal prison. I'm pretty sure he'd much rather be in his backyard with his dogs and his grandchildren. I'm pretty sure he would trade that tough guy reputation to get up out of there. Let's hear that one more time.
No, cause if I ain't what you don't see, shit don't hurt you.
Yep.
You smell me?
What type of inmates were you in there with? Was it murderers or scammers or
I mean,
drug dealers?
I think that when I was in Rice Street, I was on the South system on the outside that was willing to do whatever for me. You smell me?
What was one of the craziest things you witnessed, whether if it was like a stabbing or like some near-death experiences or like even with yourself during COVID? I know a lot of people were going crazy in there, lockdown and shit.
But I seen a mob dude, I ain't gonna say his name, he had 44 murders. He had 44 murders. And like, I seen this documentary when he was coming up, right? And the nigga goddamn was just hate rats. He was hating this. He was just, you know how them certain dudes be, real respected. I seen that nigga sleep in the room with a nigga that told. That a nigga that nigga was always telling.
He had no choice because of the choices that he made earlier in his life. Now, he was a dude who hated rat. He was well respected. He was feared. But because of the choices that he made earlier in his life, later in his life, where his health is failing and he needs help to move, he has to see doctors every day. He's getting old, Father Time. Something that's natural, something that's gonna happen to everybody. The government controls his life.
And for a nigga to have 44 murders and now he in the room, but he couldn't do shit. He was on the cane. You smell me? So like, that when you open up your mind and you say, okay, cool out here, all these niggas popping their shit in county jail, but when you get to prison and 20 years later, 30 years later, this nigga was in there 50 years. He outlived his judge, he outlived his lawyers. It's hard for him to put in appeals because his judge dead and the other judge dead.
Damn.
So like, it's just seeing a motherfucking old fella walk around prison that been there 40, 50 years. What you gonna do? What the hell you gonna do if a nigga, if a snitch or any type of nigga come in that motherfucker? What you gonna do?
He has no control anymore. When he was in the free world, he was killing it. If you looked at him wrong, he'll probably kill you. 44 murders. If you looked at him wrong, he'll probably kill you. Those decisions led him to a place now where he can't do none of that anymore.
So this right now shit, this shit ain't talking about a bitch ass thing. You need to look at that old man and this how you would determine what you need to do in life. Cause what he did apparently went right.
Yeah.
You smell me? But I submit.
That's the point right there. What he was doing, that's not it. That's not it, man. I got a couple more jewels that I want to talk about in this interview, man. And I know y'all can tell just by this what I'm playing. If you haven't looked at this interview, you should look at it, man. 1.5 million in 3 weeks. This is one of the best Say Cheese interviews. This is the best Say Cheese interview that I've ever seen. Again, like I told you, I'm not super big in interviews, but when I do watch them, they need to be interviews like this, man. They can teach me something, man. Because I really like to learn a lot. That's what I'm about, man. Becoming better. I got a lot of shit wrong with me that I have to fix. That's why I'm so into learning, man. So this is the we're gonna jump right here. All right, let's get into this.
So at what age did you get your first million?
I think I was 21.
21 with $1 million.
Now, actually, what happened was I had made my first 800 and some thousand. But when I had made the 800, I was like, boy, I can make $1 million. So what I did, I went to go buy me another pack. Like I had bought me like 10 and 10. I bought me 10 white. Then I bought me 10 bricks of boy. I bought it. And once
okay, by 10 of white and 10 of boy, he bought 10 bricks of cocaine and he bought 10 bricks of heroin. That's what that means.
I bought it. Shit, I went past $1 million. I think I was like 3, 4, shit like that. Because I used to make all my money back off just the cocaine, and all my heroin money used to be profit at that time.
Was you ever shocked, like, what the fuck am I doing? Like,
it never like,
well, it didn't hit you?
The people that I had been dealing with at the time, they had pallets of money. So like whenever I dropped my little suitcase off, well it was 800,000 or 500,000, I dropped my little suitcase off. it was one suitcase of 20, 30 suitcases. You smell me? So like they used to put it in the pamper boxes and put it on the pallet, wrap around in the pallet, and they'll put it on the truck, and then how they ship their money around. So like if you taking your little bag of money, it's a big bag because it's $1 million to us or 800, whatever it is to us. This is my whole re-up. But this motherfucker got 30, 40 of these bags up there. So like I was never grateful for what I had because looking at what my people had.
Okay, it was a lot of important things that he said right there. Number one, if you could spend 800,000 on your re-up, that means you have a lot of discipline. All right. And again, we're gonna equate everything that he's saying to business. I'm not glorifying selling drugs. He said in an interview that he don't sell drugs no more. And he gets deeper into that. If you want, you should watch the interview yourself, and you're gonna see that. That's number one. Number two, again, I'm not glorifying selling drugs, but he said he bought 10 bricks of cocaine and he bought 10 bricks of heroin. He would make his money back off the heroin and the cocaine would be profit. Or was it the other way around? Let me make sure I got that right.
So what I did, I went to go buy me another pack. Like I had bought me like 10 and 10. I bought me 10 white. Then I bought me 10 bricks, boy. I bought it. And once I bought it, shit, I went past $1 million. I think I was like 3, 4, shit like that. Because I used to make all my money back off just the cocaine, and all my heroin money used to be profit.
Okay, so yeah, so all he would make all the money that he invested, he would make that back off of cocaine, and the heroin, the 10 bricks of boy that he talked about, that would be his profit. So the 10 bricks of heroin would make him the 800,000 or 500,000 or whatever back, and then the 10 bricks of heroin, that would be all his money to keep. That's how he was making so much money. Again, I'm not glorifying selling drugs, but this is how a business is operated. This is how in the stock market there are brokers who, or just investors period, who they do long-term investments and they do options. Okay, that's the same thing basically what he's saying. It's the same thing that what he's saying. It's businesses who sell multiple products. That's the same thing that he's doing. You have a product, in his case, cocaine, that is known, it is trusted. He know he's gonna get his money back from that. And his other product, heroin, that's how he makes his profit. So the cocaine alone, he gonna be able to re-up. The heroin, he can take care of his family with that money. He can pay his bills. He can re-up with some of that and get extra. That is how businesses are ran. It's investors who, like I said, they got long-term plays. So they might put 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 in Google. They're gonna let it sit. Put 40,000 in Nvidia, let it sit. Put 17,000 in Microsoft, let it sit. Put 40,000 in Apple and let it sit. But they gonna buy options of each of those for $15,000 each. The options are quick money. They're gonna take off quick. They're gonna take off quick. So they're gonna make the money, the 30,000 that they put into the long-term investment of Microsoft, they're gonna make 30,000 from the Microsoft options and just do it all over again. It's the same thing. It's the same practice. This is an excellent business plan. If you sell t-shirts and hats, it would be the same thing. You're gonna make your money back from the t-shirts. The hats that you sell, actually, I'm gonna take this a step further. This blueprint and this plan can work with 2 streams of income regardless. Regardless, if you have a 9-to-5 job and you sell plates on the side, you can use the money from your job to finance the ingredients to make plates. That's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. If you're a secretary, but you do hair and nails on the side, with your check from your job, finance your hair and nails, buy your hair and nails equipment. It's not easy, but it is simple. Exactly what he just said he does with heroin and cocaine, everybody can do that. Everybody can do that. It's a simple strategy. It's not easy, but it is simple. It's a simple strategy. Okay. I don't think Ralo went to Harvard. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he, is a rocket scientist outside of rap. And that's no disrespect to him. I'm just saying he probably has average intelligence as far as being book smart goes. Obviously, his street knowledge and he has common sense, and street knowledge is basically, if you got a high school diploma or if you can read and write, you could probably do everything that he's saying to do. That's what I'm telling you. You probably don't even need a high school diploma. If you can read and write, you can do everything that he just said in that clip. That's a very powerful clip, and that is top tier business advice. That's top tier business advice. There are billionaires who would give you that same business advice. All right, now the last clip we're going to look at. Let's see. This right here. This is the last clip we're going to take a look at.
I mean, but over like maybe the last 6 years, a lot of other rappers been transitioning.
Mm-hmm.
Boxers too.
Right.
Like Devin Haney, I think Tank.
Right.
A lot of rappers. I see Dirk. I think Moneybag Yo.
Right.
Shout
out to Moneybag Yo. Yeah. Taking Shahada.
Yeah.
Now he talking about rappers and entertainers transitioning over to the Islam religion.
We respect that.
So how do you? Because it's me and Charleston White talk about it a lot, but it's like some people look at it as a trend to be cool, and then some people look at it as like how do you look at it?
I think our destination that we should be trying to get to is pleasing our Lord. So if it is a trend to
please, boxers too, right. Like Devin Haney.
Nobody called that man a rat. That nigga ass still up. He was in a wheelchair when I came back to the block. He probably still is in the wheelchair. Shit. At times I hope the Lord he's still there. You feel me? But however, he was the only one that came to court and testified on the juvenile. He came to every court appearance. He hopped his ass up there when he went in the wheelchair, or he rolled his ass in there. And he identified me. He did all that. You feel me? So like that type of shit went on countless times. You feel me? We was doing that shit when we were DKC, YKC, LKC. That was our little clique.
So everybody who tried to fuck with you, they got dealt with.
I mean, I think so.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say no shit like that. Allegedly.
Hypothetically
speaking.
You're Muslim. Everybody knows that.
Here we go.
But over like maybe the last 6 years, a lot of other rappers been transitioning. Boxers too. Right. Like Devin Haney, I think Tank.
Right.
A lot of rappers. I see Dirk. I think Moneybag Yo.
Right. Shout out to Moneybag Yo. Taking Shahada. We respect that.
So how do you? Because it's me and Charleston White talk about it a lot, but it's like some people look at it as a trend to be cool, and then some people look at it as like how do you look at it?
I think our destination that we should be trying to get to is pleasing our Lord. So if it is a trend to please our Lord, it's so big. I would love for it to continue the trend. If you just gotta follow Ralo to get to that destination, then follow Ralo. If you gotta follow Kevin Gates and you feel like there's something that you want to do because he doing it, and all praise and thanks to our Lord. I don't even if niggas in prison, they become Muslim because they need protection. But shit, it was plenty of times where our Lord protected us from things. So I look at it as we all need God. We all need this religion. We all need help. We all need unity. You smell me? So it was never like it was a story of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. A man came to his village and he said, if I become Muslim, I want you to give me something. And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, what do you want me to give him? He said, I want a camel. And the Prophet Muhammad told the man, hey, y'all go give him a camel. He said, no, I want the best camel. At that time, it was red camels. Red camels was the high-priced camels at that time. And he told him, give him a red camel. So he went back to his village with his camel. Everybody in his village became Muslim because of that. So it don't matter how you get there, just get there. You know what I mean? I don't care about, this nigga is scared and he need protection because whatever he is, he found God. You know what I mean? He found a good religion for himself. And this is something that I have seen benefit countless men. You know what I mean? So if it don't make, beneficial sense, it shouldn't make no sense at all.
Worst investment you ever made?
The worst.
All right, that's important right there, man. At least to me, that's kind of an important story, man. And I feel like that's kind of why the Black community, or at least Black men that I've seen, that's why they kind of lean more towards Islam and becoming a Muslim than the Christian religion. All right, that was an important story that he told. We have to and just not even from a religious point of view. We got to understand when you believe in something, right? And anything, and that's with anything, any cause that you have, whether you're doing something, you're starting any type of movement, or you're doing something where you need other people. That's basically what I'm saying. If you're doing something where you need other people, you cannot expect people to want to join you without some type of reward. That's kind of how we have to start thinking as a community. And I'm not talking about specifically Black people. I'm Black, so the majority of the instances and examples that I talk about are dealing with Black people. But just as people as a whole, especially with everything going on in politics and everything today, everything that we want as far as any type of community, you have to add value. That's what I'm trying to say. You have to add value. You can't expect people to join a cause just, to do it, just because you're you. None of us are that cool to where we should expect people to follow us without some type of compensation. If everybody had that mindset, and I think that we would be further as a people financially if everybody had that mindset. He said that the man said, what you gonna give me if I become Muslim? Most people, when you ask them something or you tell them to join something and they say, what do I get? People get offended. Muhammad didn't get offended. He didn't say, what you mean, man? I'm trying to help you. What you mean what I'm going to give you? Actually, let's play it again.
I don't, even if niggas in prison, they become Muslim because they need protection. But shit, it was plenty of times where our Lord protected us from things. So, I look at it as, we all need God. We all need this religion. We all need help. We all need unity. You smell me? So it was never like, it was a story of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. A man came to his village and he said, if I become Muslim, I want you to give me something. And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, what do you want me to give?
He said, what do you want? He didn't get offended. He didn't say, I'm trying to help you. He didn't say, well, what are you going to bring to the table? That's a big question with men and women, especially. I don't even hear white men and women saying this. Only Black men and women be like, what are you going to bring to the table? What you going to give me? What? He said, what you want?
He said, I want a camel. And the Prophet Muhammad told the man, hey, y'all go get him a camel.
That simple. What you want? I want a camel. Get him a camel. That is how a boss reacts to that question. That's how somebody with true power reacts to that question.
He said, "No, I want the best camel." At that time, it was red camels. Red camels was the high-priced camels at that time. And he told him, "Give him a red camel."
Give him the camel. That simple. He didn't argue with him. He didn't ask him a whole bunch of, oh, you just joining us to get a camel? No. You know why? You know why? Because he knows if I give him this camel, I could potentially bring several other people into this community. I could help several other people. A red camel is small. It's small compared to what the religion is going to do for people. Me parting with this red camel is small compared to the impact that I'm going to have on everybody else's life. That is how a boss thinks. That is how a leader thinks.
So he went back to his village with his camel. Everybody in his village became Muslim because of that. So it don't matter how you get there, just get there. You know what I mean? I don't care about, this nigga is scared and he need protection because whatever he is, he found God. You know what I mean? He found a good religion for himself. And this is something that I have seen benefit countless men.
That is an example of somebody who is putting community first. He wanted people a part of his community. So when the man said, "What are you going to give me to join your community?" he didn't say, "What do you bring to the table? What are you going to do for me? Let's bargain. Let's talk about it." He said, "What do you want?" The man said, "I want a camel." You got one. He said, "I want a red camel." Get him a red camel. All right, man. I would encourage everybody to watch it. And it's way more Jews in here than that. That's just something that I want to talk about. He get into the record industry. He get into artists and making music and a whole bunch of other stuff, man. That's just a couple of quick things that I want to talk about, man. Incredible interview. Salute to Say Cheese, man. Y'all go watch it on his platform. Salute to Ralo, too. I learned a lot during this interview, man. And I've watched this interview multiple times, man. So that's just something that I wanted to break down. Coming back again live. I'm not sure about tonight. I was going to try to do 2 today, but I got a couple other things going on. But I'll definitely probably be back tomorrow, man. Urban Artificial Intelligence, Strategic Thinking Media Platform. Thank y'all for watching. I'm going to see y'all in the next one. Peace.